Yo, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Trillionaire Mac. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be discussing, as you guys can see, the US dollar currency index. All right. Now we're going to do a top-down analysis on the US dollar currency index. Currently, I'm looking for a couple of trades on the DXY. By the time we're done with this analysis, hopefully you guys will be looking for something very similar. All right. Now, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already a part of the family. Hit that bell notification icon to be updated whenever I upload a new video. I pretty much upload on a daily basis. So that'll be anything from educational content, trade breakdowns, or something like this where we are doing a top-down analysis. All right, so if you want to be notified whenever I upload those videos, feel free to hit that bell notification icon and leave a like if you enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. All right, so basically we are going to start on the higher time frame on the DXY. We're going to work our way down, okay, to about the H4 time frame itself. Maybe I'll even give you guys a couple of M15 points of interest to pay attention to. Just all depends on how long this video is, things like that. Currently, I am looking for a sell position on the DXY. All right, I'm waiting for price to come back to my sell limit or the sell area that I have interest at. All right, we start on the weekly time frame. We can see that we're overall playing within this range here. Okay, so price is playing within this range here. Here's the high of the range. And then, of course, we have the low of the range. All right. Now, when you're basing your analysis based on the weekly time frame, one thing I want you guys to understand is you don't necessarily have to have a break of structure in order to have a point of interest, right? So if you guys refer back to my previous order block videos on how I find order blocks and the different confluences with the order blocks, you'll see that one of the confluences that I need is a break of structure, right? So in order for price to return back to this area here, right, I would love to see the structure break if we were on lower time frames. Now, because we're not on lower time frames and we didn't break the structure here, that is completely fine. Us looking for a sell position here is decent based on the fact that we already have this break of structure here. Price pushes to the downside, we create substructure, okay? Then we start to create minor structure, then we start to create substructure again, and now we are in the apex of our overall sell range, okay? So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if we take a fib and we mark our premium discounted pricing based on this leg here, okay? The top half of premium pricing is going to be great sells. The bottom half of premium pricing is going to be good sells. As we can see, we've tapped into, I would say, the top 50%, maybe once, barely here, twice, barely here, okay, and each time, okay, sellers come into the market. Now we can see that each time that sellers come into the market, it gets weaker and weaker. We can see we have a nice push to the downside with sellers, and then we can see we have a smaller push to the downside with sellers, and we can even possibly anticipate an even smaller push to the downside with sellers. It just depends, but this doesn't mean that we can't take advantage of this on the lower time frame. All right, it's all about understanding where you are on the different time frames in order to correlate them together properly to take a trade. So now let's go ahead and head to the daily time frame. All right, so now that we're on the daily time frame, we can see we have 2 points of interest. All right, we have a point of interest here that gives us all the confluences that we need in order to have a point of interest. We also have a point of interest here. Now within these points of interest, yes, we do have order blocks that price can trade from, but remember, I don't blindly take order blocks. I look for a mixture between order blocks and liquidity in order to formulate my trade setup. And this is just based on my personal plan. All right. I would suggest that everyone have a personal plan for themselves, okay? Some of you guys may just want to trade from regular order blocks, and if so, that's completely fine. Now, for those of you who want to trade exactly like me, increase your efficiency and effectiveness on the charts, basically, at the end of the day, just increase the amount of understanding that you have within the market so you can make more profit. Feel free to check out my course, first link in the description. Make sure you guys use YouTube 10 for 10% off. We only have 50% of these coupons available. 50% was taken from the past 2 days, so thank you guys for using that code, things like that. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me either on Instagram or Telegram. All right, I do not mind answering you all's questions. It can be specific questions, it can be broad questions. It's completely up to you, but just let me know, and I got you guys covered. All right, and those of you who do want a one-on-one session, I'm going to do a couple of giveaways for the one-on-one session. It's really going to be first come, first serve, so the first couple of individuals to DM me on Instagram or on Telegram, those one-on-one sessions will be for you. I'm only going to save 3 for you guys. Okay, so 3 spots available, first come, first serve, let me know. So going back to the charts, based on the daily time frame, like I said, we have 2 points of interest. All right, basically this entire sell zone here is where I'm looking for my confluences for price to continue to push to the downside. All right, let's go ahead and head to the H4 time frame. So based on the H4 time frame, we can see this beautiful schematic forming. We can see this beautiful structure forming, very, very clean higher highs, higher lows, very, very clean transition, things like that, right? So if we start right here, we can see that price pushes to the upside, pushes back to the downside, then pushes to the upside again, right? We had a possible sell opportunity from this region here. Okay, it was a simple day trade, okay, but we were still able to profit off of this. All right, now if we're looking on the higher time frame, such as the daily time frame, this was still within uptrend structure. All right, so price ends up creating substructure here. Then we created minor structure all throughout here, and we broke our previous swing high to create a new high based on switching from minor to swing structure. Now, there's 3 different types of structure that I take advantage of. There's 3 different types of structure that I pay attention to. I'm not going to be teaching that, but once again, that is within the course. And if you guys do have any questions about market structure or how I view market structure and momentum, feel free to ask me within my DMs, and I got you covered. All right. So based on the H4 time frame, we can see that price transitions to the downside within this area here. Okay, so our first opportunity to take a sell, my first point of interest would be here, and you guys can feel free to also mark this up on your charts. All right, these areas that I'm marking up is where I'm going to look for my entry schematic to take place. All right, my trading style is very, very simple. Valid. Do I have a valid zone based on rules? Do I have a valid entry based on rules? That's it. Okay, that's what I teach my students. That's what I teach my Telegram clients. Valid zone, which I provide you guys, okay, with my rules. Okay, so I don't necessarily teach my rules unless you have the course or unless you're a mentorship student. And then the valid entry, I give you guys those rules for the valid entry for you guys to take advantage of. All right. So we have one opportunity around 94293, and then our most recent opportunity that I was looking for price to trade back to this morning was 94.010. Okay, so we have 2 fantastic points of interest, and I will be looking for sell opportunities within these areas. Now, for those of you who have my generic trading plan, okay, it's a very basic trading plan. I don't use it from the previous video. I don't necessarily use it because it's very, very generic, okay, and with that being said, it's based on the H1 time frame. I don't like taking entries off the H1 time frame at all because I like to have 2 to 3 pip stop losses, okay, or 1.5 to 2 pip stop losses. So I don't necessarily take advantage of that generic trading plan, but if you guys have watched that video and you understand what trading plan I am talking about, I'll leave it in the description down below, or it'll pop up somewhere over here, top right-hand corner. But within that video, I give you guys specific rules to take trades. All right, so if you see price pull into this region here or even this region here, look for those specific confluences to take place on the H1 time frame, and when you see those confluences, then you guys can feel free to take this trade and capitalize off of this move right along with myself, Telegram channel, and my students. All right. Now, one question that I do get all the time is what happens if price breaks structure to the downside? So let's say price does break below this region here. All right. If price breaks below this region here, it won't really matter to me too much. Okay. Now within this region here, I don't see my valid rules take place for me to have a valid liquidity point of interest, which is what I trade from personally. Okay, so I'm simply going to just use this as inducement. Yes, we do have a possible order block here, especially if price continues to push to the downside. All right, taking out this structure here. But what I'm really paying attention to is this region here. And what I really want you guys to also pay attention to is this region as well. Okay, so if price pulls to the downside, yes, you do have, what retail traders would consider an order block. Okay, but your highest probability is going to be up here within this region here, okay? Or even within this region here. Now, I don't know if we're going to return back to this region, especially because we have formed another point of interest to trade from right before a break of structure, creating also imbalance within these areas. Now, this imbalance right here has pretty much been filled. This imbalance here has pretty much been filled as well. So we don't have too much imbalance within the region. We do have a little bit of imbalance here, okay? But because price trades back into this area here, I really wouldn't be looking for imbalance as a confluence, which means I would use this as possible inducement. Now, I know I went through that quickly, okay? I don't want to do too much teaching because then this video will end up being 30 to 45 minutes, and I just wanted to give you guys a DXY trade breakdown so you guys can take advantage of. So once price trades into this area, you can either use your own entry confluences, or you can simply just go back to the generic trading plan, okay? And you can use that as your entry as well. All right, feel free to go check out that video, leave a like on that video, and I'd appreciate it. All right, so this is a full breakdown of DXY. I'm not going to go to the M15. I thought about it, but I mean, from these points of interest here and from the information that is within the trading plan video, you guys can pretty much take a trade within these areas and look for price to continue to push to the downside. All right, first targets can easily be this region here. Okay, if you want to target this region here next, that's completely fine. Now, once you're up 1 to 4, make sure you guys go ahead and close 1R of your trade. Okay, and then if you want to just close at 5%, that's completely fine. That's what I tell my Telegram clients. Every single trade that we take, as long as we hit 5%, that's a fantastic trade in my eyes. All right, so with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this top-down analysis on the DXY, going from the weekly time frame to the daily to the H4, also providing you guys with H4 points of interest to look for the generic entry schematic within. Okay, simply valid zone, valid entry. So if you need a valid entry, if you don't have a valid entry model, then feel free to go check out the previous video talked about, and here are your valid zones. All right, so you guys should be good to go. Once you guys do take advantage of this, feel free to send me profits within my DM. I love hearing testimonials from you guys. And make sure you guys tap into the free one-on-one sessions. I'm only giving away 3, okay? And I will answer up to 3 questions for you all. The session will be around 30 minutes, and I look forward to seeing you all.